Okay, Nick and Andy, it's time to preview and predict what's going to happen in this huge Champions League semi-final second leg. Paris Saint-Germain against Arsenal in Paris. Cannot wait. This is going to be epic. PSG leading 1-0 from the first leg in North London. Nick, very evenly matched is how I'd sum this up. Obviously, PSG had chances to extend their lead. Arsenal were denied by Donnarumma as he continues to have his worldie of a Champions League campaign. What do you expect from this second leg? Because I think most of us think more of the same. Both these teams are kind of default to entertain and attack, but we might see a few little wrinkles of differences here and there, right? It's so intriguing because I think these two young teams are so evenly matched.
Yeah, I wonder how Arteta, the former PSG man himself from Alone way back in the day, I wonder how he will adapt his midfield is my question. I'm not necessarily saying personnel, but what are the jobs are going to be? What are the responsibilities? One of the fun things about Arsenal's midfield is their guys can play different roles. Declan Rice can do just about whatever you want him to do on the pitch. Odegaard doesn't get as much credit for sort of his, I guess, positional acumen, but again, a good leader. And Thomas Partey has become a little bit of a wild card as well. Obviously, they have other players who can do jobs. I think it's kind of great, and it says something about Arsenal's growth that you can look at this game against a team like PSG and against a manager like Luis Enrique, and you can say, all right, what is Arteta going to do? And that will change the game. I really think Arsenal, for a visitor, is not in the driver's seat to win, but in the driver's seat to dictate how this game looks.
Andy, do you agree with that? Because I think most people would say Arsenal missed Thomas Partey terribly with his suspension for that first leg, forced Rice to play deeper. Obviously, Moreno came into midfield and isn't the same kind of player, still quality player, but very different profile to Thomas Partey. And Arsenal struggled to contain PSG on transitions. There was gaps opening up. And when you have Partey in midfield, he allows Odegaard and Rice to be more energetic and stream forward and press high and stop maybe those balls into the midfield three of PSG and then becoming so comfortable and knocking it around like a pinball machine. I think Partey coming back is key, but it's all about tempo, right? And trying to have some kind of control if either team can have any control of this game. It does seem like midfield is the area where this tie is going to be won and lost.
Yeah, and for Arsenal, the control went out the window 4 minutes in when PSG scored, and suddenly they were on the back foot, and they didn't have to chase the tie over the next 86 minutes, but they certainly needed to try to get one back, and they probably should have. Like you say, Donnarumma looks like he's the best goalkeeper in the world at the moment right now, and has really just established himself as that, and he was man of the match in my opinion. But yeah, it is the midfield for Arsenal, and Partey has been really good at shielding that back line that I thought was a little bit of a problem there in the first leg. They're really starting to miss Gabriel, and I think that at some point having to start Kivior in all of these really big games down the stretch of the season was gonna not cost them, but it was gonna show up a little bit, and we've seen that in the past, and we saw that a little bit in the first leg there, and so Arsenal were a little bit just more open, I think, out of necessity in the first leg, and so again, just like I thought it was in the first leg, I think their best path to victory and advancing is a game with very, very few chances in the second leg. If they can go in there and make it as ugly as possible and limit PSG's space to attack, then I give them a chance. But when you just look at the number of options that PSG have in that attack, and even in the midfield, I mean, that midfield, especially the front two with Neves and Ruiz, the way that they love to get forward, it feels like it's going to be a really tall mountain to climb, I think, for Arsenal.
You were saying it there, like about the defensive kind of uncertainties of Kivior. I mean, they have options now, right? I mean, that Ben White is back fit. He could start at right back or centre back. Urian Timber could slot over into centre back. But I know they're right-sided players, so that would then force Saliba potentially to move to the left, or Timber could be on the left side of defence there as a centre back. They have options to change it, but I don't think they're going to. I think they'll probably keep Kivior there. And I just worry about out wide a little bit. I think we saw Timber and Lewis Skelly a little bit shocked by the intensity and the level and quality That Kvaratskhelia, Doué, if Barcola comes in, obviously Dembele drifting around, kind of just dragged this Arsenal defence all over the place. And we saw, I think, the lift in intensity, which is obvious from playing in the Champions League semi-final to playing in a lot of Premier League games, which, let's face it, haven't mattered for them in recent weeks because they knew Liverpool were going to win the title. And I think it's very difficult to kind of find that level. And they did against Real Madrid, but they were still kind of in the title race a little bit then. But now this rhythm just seems to have gone a little bit from Arsenal. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they can rise to that challenge again. And I think, there are choices that Arteta has to make. And up top as well, Moreno probably starting up top. Who starts out wide? Martinelli or Trossard? That's obviously a big question mark as well. But they have some options, but PSG definitely have more. Speaking about PSG, Nick, see Donnarumma, we've spoken about, excellent saves. Came up big against Liverpool and Villa in the previous rounds as well. But they did go close. They had chances to go 2 or 3-0 up themselves. Is it all about sort of a fast start and feeding off the energy of this incredible crowd at home in Paris and just like they did in the first leg, like Andy said, kind of just hit Arsenal hard, control the tempo of the game? And it seems like PSG are pretty good at being fast starters and keeping that tempo up. So they're a new team. They're a young team. Not a lot of them have been in this kind of situation before, but some of them have in these knockout competitions, more so than Arsenal. So you almost feel like PSG should be able to handle the occasion a little bit better than Arsenal. What do you think about that?
I think so, in the sense that also over the course of their domestic season, they are, if this game were even or if they were trailing, maybe it's a little bit different, but they are used to having the target on their back. They're used to being the team expected to win at home or at least hold serve at home. And they also have some guys like, if you would have told me 6 months ago, out of left field, hey, Nick, did you know Marquinhos is 150 years old? I would say, oh, yeah, I thought he was 200. Like, they have some old hats there. And I would say the same for Donnarumma. He's been just about everywhere you need to be. And sometimes if the right leader, the right player, the right older guy is there, that there's experience. And the coach has done it. The manager's done it, excuse me. So I don't know what they're going to do. And that goes back to the first thing I said in this segment. I favor PSG until Mikel Arteta does something or somebody from Arsenal does something that makes me, not just me, obviously, that makes PSG question their plan. And right now, I think their plan is after that first game, we got the keeper. Yeah, he had a great game, but I think we should have won that. And we did win that, and we deserved it. So let's just go do it again.
Yeah, sounds simple. Andy, you think they're going to do that? Or do you think Arsenal could get a big performance from a Declan Rice like he did against Real Madrid, a Saka, an Odegaard? Probably time for him to step up as the captain and regain some kind of form in a key moment for Arsenal. Or do you think PSG are going to make it through? What's the score pick, mate?
Yeah, I got to go with PSG in this one. The fact that they got the win away and they get to go home and control a little bit more, I think. But again, I think it's going to be, and you said it earlier, Joe, I think the wide defenders, the fullbacks for Arsenal are going to be up against it once again. And we talked about this last week, and that's exactly what it was in the first leg. So I think there will be plenty of chances for PSG, and I think they'll probably put a couple of them away. I'm going to say 2-0 to PSG in the second leg, 3-0 on aggregate.
Nick?
I'm going with 1-1. I think that neither Arsenal nor PSG have anything really to worry about other than gearing up for this game. And given that, and given the freedom PSG will have, again, unless Arteta really affects some change or they get the fast start, I just think it plays into PSG's hand to decide when they want to use their explosiveness. So in this case, I think it was all about the first leg, and I hope to be proven wrong. I really would like to see Arsenal pull it out. And I think they'll put in a performance they could admire. But I'm going to go for 1-1 and then a 2-1 loss on aggregate.
I'm going to go for 2-1 to Arsenal, which means extra time and penalty kicks. And I think Arsenal are going to do it on penalties. I just feel like they have one big performance in them. I don't think they were anywhere near their best. They missed Partey in midfield in the first leg, and that would really help them in the second leg. And I just feel like the likes of Saka and Rice and Odegaard are going to have a big night. It's going to be a lot of pressure on PSG at home to close this out. But no, it just feels like Arsenal are meant to be in this competition this season for me. So that's why I'm going with them. Head over to Pro Soccer Talk on NBCSports.com for everything you need on PSG against Arsenal. Huge second leg of this Champions League semi-final in Paris. Let's see what happens, but whatever happens, it's going to be a beauty of a game.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Lowe, and as we head towards the end of an exciting Premier League season, make sure you like and subscribe on the NBC Sports YouTube channel for more content like this.